everyone. Welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Man United Dash, and welcome to our weekly post-match show where we are with the one and only Louis, Houston, and Denver Red Army. Louis, you were missed. Welcome back.
Oh man, it's good to be back, man. I don't like missing. I really don't. If I could be on, I wish, I would be on all the time.
I really appreciate your presence. Right, the last time we spoke, United were out and now out of Europe. They've qualified for Wembley, did a bottle job today at Spurs, but the Wembley one was they're going to meet City. So do they? People are saying, "Oh, City look like they want to win the treble." I feel personally, Real Madrid is not going to allow that because they're meeting Real Madrid in the semis next week. I think yes, next week. And I know for a fact, I think United will be up for that FA Cup final. I think they will be up for it. Your thoughts?
Um, Look, man, it's for Manchester United fans, and I think the entire community at large that's associated with Manchester United, we don't want City to win a treble.
No,
We
100%.
don't want we don't want City to win a treble. It's very, very possible that Real Madrid stops them from realizing that. Um, but if you're a true Manchester United player, if you really love the club the way that they say they do, that this has to be something that you're focused on. I mean, being being able to prevent Manchester City from winning that type of accolade, I mean, that says something. I mean, it's not a trophy, right? But I mean, it is something that we can celebrate and something that we can
Mm,
definitely enjoy,
mm, mm, mm,
especially if it offers us a cup title.
mm.
You know what I mean? This isn't like we're playing them in the third round and it's like, oh, we knocked them out. It's a final.
Mm.
It's
One
stopping them
game.
from the treble. I mean, it's what the legends of old Manchester United, Man City, those types of rivalries. It's what it's written about, right? So I mean, yeah, I think that will be up for it. But City will also be up for it. Our advantage is that they are still focused on winning
The
in
Champions
Europe.
League.
They're still focused on winning Champions League. They did a fantastic job against Arsenal, but that it's still not done yet. They still have to focus on making sure that they win their games in hand. Uh, you know, Actually overtaking Arsenal and not only closing the gap, but putting themselves one or two games above Arsenal if they could.
Mm.
So they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of things that they have to focus on. At the same time, though, it's Manchester City. It's
Right.
you know it's the shiny new club in the window. They have all the high tech bells and whistles, man. They got everything that they could possibly want.
That's
And
right.
it's even though we have this slight advantage, it's nowhere near done and dusted, right?
Not yet.
We can have, we can, and I hope we do have some confidence going in that it's very, very possible, but it's gonna be hard work no
It's
matter
been
what.
hard work.
It's
You,
gonna be
you
hard work.
you saw United struggle against Brighton on Saturday, Sunday in the FA Cup semi-finals. Penalties, 120 minutes,
I was about to say, did we
0-0.
struggle? Did we
I mean, when
struggle?
I say struggle, no goals. Both teams couldn't score a goal. So
We definitely struggled to score, but I mean, against Brighton, which is they play good football.
no, without a doubt.
Play fast. They play open. They wanna have a style that's enjoyable to watch. They want to play with some flair. Um, it's not a gimme. It's not like playing a championship team or playing a bottom of the table team. I think, and having our starting center backs out as well, and having a left back there, I think we can pat ourselves on the back for it a bit. Getting through, going towards the penalties, winning the penalties, getting into the final. Um, it was a decent job. It could have been better, of course. I'm not going to say
Right.
that it was. It definitely it won't win a final if we played that style. If we played that well. It wouldn't win a final. Let's
You're
be real.
literally, you're diplomatically saying, systematically saying, if you try that shit, in the semis ain't gonna work.
Yeah, no, man.
You're trying to
If
say,
I was talking to my own players, I would definitely word it a different way, right? But it's we know that we have to play better, but
oh, 100%, mate.
for the injuries that we've had, for the lack of depth that we had, we got the job done, and it was done in a functional fashion. It wasn't
Yes,
pretty,
I'll say
it
functional.
wasn't
That's an
pretty, it
appropriate
wasn't
word.
threatening, it was functional. And it got the job done. And Lindelof, real quick,
Mr.
man of the
Iceman.
match, ice in his veins, did not have definitely did not have any mistakes that led to key moments for
Mm.
I mean, he played solid,
Very
100%.
solid, mate. 100%,
There
mate.
definitely no huge mistakes. If there were any mistakes, they were extremely minor and not noticeable. He played, I mean, third choice, center back, rotational center back. He earned he's earned his spot this season.
Yeah.
When he has played, he's played pretty well overall. Um, you know, I hope, if we do decide to keep him, I'll be happy. Definitely as
Right.
like a third choice, or a rotational center
Yeah.
back. I'm happy that he's had success under Ten Hag, and he's gotten better under Ten Hag.
Someone brought it up to my attention saying when someone like Lindelof, who's so cool and he's actually comfortable on the ball, plays with better footballers, it enhances his game. When he plays with mediocre players like old Ari, who make him more nervous, his game goes further down. He gets nervous, his game goes out the window, and it becomes an absolute circus. As we saw it at Sevilla. I
He's
mean, really, it
he's
wasn't
not
his
he's
fault.
not good enough to, and most footballers are not. He's not good enough to play both.
Hmm.
He can't play freely, play with the midfield players, have confidence on the ball, kind of, be comfortable having the ball at the feet. He can't have that confidence if he has to constantly check his shoulder and make sure that that guy's where he's supposed to be.
Exactly.
If he's not where he's supposed to be, how am I supposed to react, and how am I supposed to cover for him,
Mm.
and that kind of thing. He's not a pacey center back, but I mean, he makes very good decisions on the ball. He's a technically sound center back. He's very good, to come in for rotation and that kind of thing. He can go 90 minutes if you need him to. Um, it's so clear that anyone who plays with Harry Maguire, their game drops. And we saw it with Martinez the last time. It was Maguire and Martinez in the back. You see how angry he gets.
Yeah.
Having to cover, having to do the extra work. Maguire is just. I mean, look, we play without him and we go to a cup final. There's no liability there. Is it perfect? Shaw and Lindelof? No. We definitely need better depth going forward, but
Hmm.
I mean, it's just such a drastic step up when you don't have the fake captain, like, taking up space. It's incredible how much the quality of the team overall drops when he's there.
Right. So fast forward today, Spurs, White Hart Lane. Spurs, no manager, got a new, I think it's a new manager, so something, a replacement somewhere.
Interim
Um,
manager again.
interim.
Yeah.
They got hammered during last weekend, 6-1 by Newcastle, our rivals as well for top four. The week before, they lost at home, 3-2 to Bournemouth. Then United go to Old Trafford, coming after a very tough field sapping, energy sapping game at Wembley, 120 minutes to White Hart Lane in London. And, everyone was looking honky dory. First two goals, nice goal from Sancho, nice goal from Rashford. I mean, was the defense poor? I think the second goal, that defender was like, what? You asked, what was he doing? The guy put you on his left, no tackle. You just, even I would have thought, like, come on, bro, we're going to put tackle in. But hey, it's to our advantage. Then you think, game, set, match. The whole thing turns around again. So what happened today? What was wrong today?
Look, it's very clear that our lack of depth is a problem.
The four
Um,
subs he brought on,
it's
they turned
the
the game
four
on his
subs.
head.
Look, and to harp on Ten Hag, he got it wrong today.
I think
Uh,
he did, mate. I
you
honestly
know,
think he did.
team selection, I don't think. I thought it was a very strong. I thought it was a very strong
Yes.
starting lineup. Subs obviously were horrendous, and they obviously didn't work. But I mean, we did go 120 minutes 3 days ago. That is a part of it. That is, there is, you can't completely ignore that. But look, first half, I thought it was shaky. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like, it was very bad soccer for two teams. Turnovers were extremely rampant throughout the first half. Both sides giving up the ball. Harry Kane having to drop extremely short to come and collect the ball. I mean, I know he doesn't want to come that deep, just because he doesn't have the speed to turn around and go back up the other side. But Tottenham can't build through the midfield. Their midfield is not good.
Right.
I mean, so many wayward passes go straight towards United players. Should have been to our advantage, especially with the lineup that we did throw out there. But it was tons of mistakes, tons of bad passes. The goal from Sancho is very nice. It's what he likes to do, and what we keep saying that we expect to see from him, which is taking on those players 1v1, creating just a little bit of space and curling one in. He wants to play that style. We believe he can play that style. So it was fantastic, to see him have that moment, especially because we've been talking about his lack of form recently. Rashford, great goal. I mean, again, kind of an individual effort.
A long ball sent to him up front.
Yeah, there's a ball sent to him up front, but he does well to kind of finish it off. But other than the Bruno miss off the crossbar,
right?
We weren't creating anything deadly. There were stretches where we did have somewhat comfortable possession of the ball, but nothing over 60%, nothing close to 70% with the way we know Ten Hag wants to play. It's just we didn't value the ball. We didn't value the ball. We didn't play the ball. I will say this though. At halftime, if you're Ten Hag, or what I would expect of Ten Hag, at halftime you're 2-0 up. You have to say, guys, this isn't great.
No,
we're 2 up. It's not great. We got to shore it up. Can't have these technical mistakes. More organization at the back. Go get the third goal. Get the third goal. That has to be the message. Like, if you get the third goal, the game's done.
Definitely.
The game's done, because they just hadn't been playing well already. Third goal, that would have killed it. But it was just so tired. It was tired football. It was uninspired, kind of lazy on the back foot.
It was lazy.
Yeah, but again, it's the depth though, right? Because I mean, once you go to the bench, you want to interject some energy, but at the same time, there still has to be a technical component. And
each sub was a nightmare. It was an absolute disaster.
Fred played horrendously.
Oh God,
Garcia did not play well. Weghorst did not play well. Who was the
Martial?
other one? Martial didn't play well. Martial did not play well.
I mean, I don't know if they're tired from the game, but if you look at Fred, I would have thought Fred was just passing the ball to Spurs. Like, they're wearing white, you are wearing red. Bloody hell, can you see?
I've been wondering why Fred hasn't been playing lately.
Right, not a starter.
But the game that he had today, he wasn't having those games that bad before he kind of disappeared off the team sheet for a little while. I mean, he wasn't playing well. He wasn't playing, he wasn't playing, world class, but he was performing. He was putting defensive performances for. He's got like what, 1 or 2 goals here and there. But I mean, his link-up play is improved. I thought he was playing a lot faster lately. Disappears for a while, and there was no injury news. It wasn't clear why Ten Hag kind of stopped picking him. He picked Lindelof a couple of times, or not Lindelof. He picked McTominay a couple of times where it didn't make sense.
Instead of Fred, yeah.
Instead of Fred, even when Sabitzer It's played okay, but he had I mean, after not Betis, who did we Sevilla, after Sevilla,
Sevilla.
kind of made sense to rotate him out, but he still didn't put Fred there. It was very, very strange to me. And then when he comes back, he has a game like he had today, and he's not fresh, and he's not, he's not sharp.
His passing was horrible, mate. Like,
It's
what
just
is wrong with
for
this guy?
I would say for all of the success that Ten Hag has had this season, drastic turnaround from last season. It's very concerning, that we're getting towards the end and it looks like we're running out of legs, right?
It does look
And
like.
again, I think Ten Hag has done a phenomenal job.
Mate.
Not taking anything away from him, but he's got it wrong lately. A couple of times.
Today he got it wrong. The subs were
Today he got
too
it wrong.
early used. I mean, he can't be saving the players for Aston Villa game on Sunday, which is a home game. This kind of was. I would have thought this was a bigger game, which you really need to get the points from.
Yeah, no. Again, the message has to be go get the third goal.
Simple as that.
If that,
The
I
game
mean,
management was poor.
yeah, you can't, and I wouldn't go so far as to say that they played or that they dropped too deep, or it's not that they didn't play part of us football, but it was extremely conservative football.
It was.
They the first half they were playing. Shaw and Lindelof were playing on the half field line. We were in the half. We were moving the ball fairly decently. Again, a lot of technical mistakes, but I mean, we're trying to move the ball left to right, right to left. Ericsson had some phenomenal balls into the box, into the area that really didn't turn into much. But I mean, they were just placed so well. One off the outside of his boot, curls it in really nice. And it looked like we were creating chances there, but
Right.
to come out second half and say, okay, let's manage it. That's the wrong approach, man. They should have
Even when they managed it, you're managing it your away. I mean, this is a Tottenham team who have just lost 2 games in a row, one at home in the last one against Bournemouth, and they got thrashed 6-1. Do you think they're just going to sit down again and get hammered? They're going to try and fight. So you need to shut this game down. But they bloody didn't. All they did was, all right, we got 2 goals. We'll make some subs and try and kill the game. No, it's not the way. City don't do that. You go and get the third and the fourth. Then you can say, all right. 2-0 is not comfortable. It's not because it takes 1 goal, and you saw when the Spurs got the first goal, then the second goal. I'm thinking, who was marking Son? Who was there? He just had a tapping, just a tapping, and you're like, oh bloody hell. But it was a very poor performance, especially the second one. It's a game of 2 halves. But I just, like you said, they needed that third goal. But it didn't set the team up to get a third. They said, oh, we'll just sit back, bringing on Fred, bringing on Martial and Workhorse, and Malasia was horrible. It was horrendous.
Yeah, no, I think if you're the coaching staff,
it's like Sevilla all over again. 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Last 8 minutes, bam, throw the game away.
If you're the coaching staff, around Ten Hag, I don't understand how the conversation is not, 2-0 up going into the locker room. The conversation has to be about winning this game. And you can't say, oh, we have 2-0 up. Let's rest players for Villa. That's a very, very poor way of looking at it. You've lost Liverpool, City, Newcastle away. Who else have you lost away to? You've lost to. Did we lose to Chelsea away?
No, we drew. We got a point at last minute. Aston Villa.
That's right. Lost to Villa away. I mean, you have to put this game. You have to put this game to bed. Your away record's been terrible. Go get the draw against Villa on the weekend. Play park the bus football. Then don't take your foot off the gas when you're 2-0 up against Spurs.
Exactly.
You're 2-0 up against Spurs. I mean, they haven't had the greatest season, but it's still Spurs. I mean, put your foot on the gas and go. Let Rashford play. Let Rashford play more.
Apart from the goal,
more.
apart from the goal, he wasn't great either.
Bruno on the fucking wing. Don't kick Bruno out to the wing and
I
use
don't
your
know why.
midfield.
You have said this so many times.
He's not
Why they
there.
keep putting him on the wing? I can't comprehend that rubbish
I,
that
I
Ten
don't
Hag
get
is
it.
doing.
I don't get it. I don't understand why, if you wanted to play Whitehorse in the 10, why you don't just drop Bruno next to Casemiro. I don't understand. I don't, just drop him in lower and have Fernandez play deeper, but keep him central. Keep him
Exactly.
central because that's where he plays the best. That's where he creates the most for us. He doesn't create anything out for us on
No,
the.
no,
It,
no, he doesn't.
he's lost out there because we can't utilize him, and it makes no sense. To me, he has not had a good game out there on the wing.
No, he has not.
I don't think he's had. I mean, not a game where we can definitively say he played a 9 or a 10.
No,
There's no way. All of his best games, all of his best performances for Manchester United since he's come here have been from the 10. If you're going
definitely.
to play him, that's where you play him. If you're going to rest him, but don't kick him out to the wing. It makes no sense.
That's right. So now that United have dropped 2 points, I mean, dropped 2 points when they had everything they had. Because when they scored the second goal, I thought, yeah, this might be it. I was thinking third and fourth were coming in. I was looking for a thrashing. And they just capitulated. And this is like really bottled. They just bottled this one. They literally bloody bottled it. And you think like, we call Arsenal bottlers, we call Spurs bottlers. We bottled this one right there in front of everyone. Now you're going to have to mentally pick these guys up again and go again on Saturday, which is a home game, and I get it. But Aston Villa trying to get to Europe as well, so they're not going to lie down and get beaten. They're going to put up a fight and try
Villa,
and get a result.
Villa's going to play more open than Tottenham did.
See what I
They're
mean?
gonna play, with confidence. They're gonna play, they're gonna try to, you know, play through us. It's not.
100%.
I don't expect them to play kick and run football. They're going to try to play a nice build up style,
Right.
style against us, and they're going to try to beat us with 2 or 3 goals. It's. I don't know if they were just if they felt
Tired.
like they just didn't deserve the 2-0 win. Because it wasn't a good first half. It was an okay first half.
Mm.
And the goals, they don't necessarily come off the run of play, right? It's not,
Mm-mm.
it's not like we were consistently knocking on the door.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't
Especially the second
it
goal.
wasn't a great half for us. So I don't know if they go into the locker room and they said to themselves, look, we're not playing that great, so we should drop in and play conservative and try to slow the game down. But I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand how Ten Hag doesn't go to them and say, look, it wasn't great, but take a deep breath. Let's go again, but let's hammer them, because 2-0 up, man, and you just stop playing. You stop playing, and it's remnant of the 7-0 to Liverpool and the loss at Newcastle.
Exactly
It
my
reminds you
point.
of those games. Like, I don't understand why the fight dies out in those moments. It's something that I think Ten Hag has to figure out, or if it's not possible with these players, then I mean we have to do business in the summer.
But one thing someone brought to my attention was since the red card debacle of Casemiro, he hasn't been the same. He's not as free as he used to be. It's just like he feels he feels like he's got a tug on his back. Every time he goes for a tackle. I think he's now playing more cautious football than the free he used to play before he got his red card. You see what I mean? What's your thought on that?
No, look, he definitely feels targeted. He feels targeted by the league. I think that one, he was already kind of known as someone who collected yellow cards a lot, right?
Right.
He's known as an aggressive player, but he's also known as a very, very good player. And I don't know if it's because it's Manchester United or what, but I do feel like refs decided to use Casemiro to create an example. And it seems very unfair because it's so inconsistent, right? I mean,
Mm.
these foul calls and refs are not the same. it's not fair to say that all refs should ref the same, but there is just such an inconsistency this season, and I mean we've seen it in previous seasons, but such an inconsistency with how the severity of fouls are judged, and the extended penalties given to certain fouls. I feel like it's just I'm not trying to say that it's like it's an anti-United agenda. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it does seem to happen to us a lot, and it does seem to happen to one player that makes a particular amount of difference for us.
I know, right? So I mean, I think because I've seen.
Let me put it that way. Sorry.
No. You're right. You're right. I was saying also, some players have committed some more horrendous tackles, not being given reds, not being given yellows, and you be like, if that was Casemiro, I know he's going to get a red. If I'm doing, I saw Grealish do something stupid yesterday, but he didn't get a yellow, not even a red, nothing. But if it was Casemiro, so it's like Man United are not standing up for the players and complaining to the FA like, listen, hey, why are we being targeted? Why is Casemiro being targeted? Because if it wasn't him, if it wasn't Casemiro, someone else would be targeted. But they're just targeting this guy, and he's picking up yellow cards and red cards that other players would be like, oh, let it go. Like I saw the Brighton game, the ref just he was so reluctant to give Brighton a yellow card. Like, come on, that was a foul. But
I mean, it's said very consistently across many platforms, but I mean, look, it's clear that there is the British passport bias, right?
Yeah.
The way that narratives surround players around their clubs, within the media, already paints a connotation of English players above basically the rest. But I mean, I think it's also clear in how games are officiated, in how the league takes discipline on certain players. Look, man, some players, they don't get a pass, but I mean, they get more than 3 strikes. That's very clear. And I saw earlier today, and you know how the transfer rumors in the tabloids are, but there is rumor of Casemiro not being happy at United because of kind of his treatment, by the league at large. Again, not necessarily a direct quote, right? In these types of stories, they always pop up, but it is something that you think about. It's what are these players who have had incredible careers within their country, and then within
won everything,
and had these long careers, and have commanded respect to come into a league which still is the most competitive league in the world. Don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastic league, and the level is incredibly high. But yeah, the way that players kind of feel that they get treated, I get it. And it's not about players being a prima donna or expecting anything because they're a star. It's just there's a professionalism, I think, that they feel that they're not receiving when they're in the English league.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, and I hope that it doesn't drive away what is one of our best players.
I will say so too. I hope not, because it seems like he's a shadow of himself. You can see, it's kind of like,
I think
let's just get this game over with, kind of. You know what I mean?
What keeps him grounded, I think, is his connection with the fan base. I think he feels that the Man United fans have, showed him a lot of love, and we're very excited to have him in the team, and of course we want him in the team. So, it seems like his connection to the fan base is strong. But yeah, man, I hope that is enough to kind of overcome. And maybe it just takes time. Maybe he has to cement himself, in this league a little bit. Everybody has different obstacles that they have to overcome, right? But
100%.
This is a big one, man, for a guy who's already had a full career. So I mean, he might decide I don't need it,
Exactly. Like you said, he's won everything.
Yeah.
He's literally won it all. I mean, Champions League, what, 5 Champions Leagues? That's a lot. Some players not even won an FA Cup, let alone 5 Champions Leagues. Golly. So that we're talking elite footballers here. We're talking elite, the cream of the crop here. You know,
Yeah, I
but
mean, a player that, if he didn't come up in the Messi Ronaldo era, like his name would have been on the short list
oh
of,
yeah, 100%, mate,
he
100%.
would have been in the running, in a lot of those instances. I mean, and he has won a lot of awards over his career, and he is a world-class footballer. I wonder if a different ownership would fight for him more in the
Mm,
league, if they would take the risk of going to the FA, because I mean that's what it is. Like clubs, like they fear retaliation, right, in some form.
right.
This is why they're not allowed to say particular things about refs. Like you should always be able to criticize a ref. You know what I
Hundred
mean?
percent. And refs should be
Long
held
as
accountable.
you dissent with respect, like you should be able to voice your opinion, but there's such a protection there that it allows for inconsistencies, number one, with refs. But I mean, just the fear of what the league will do to you if you say something about a ref, or if you complain, if you complain to the FA about calling, certain rulings and certain cards and certain ban links. Everyone, they fear retaliation, and it shouldn't be that way.
True.
But I know that a Glazer family, they're not going to risk any type of fines, any type of retaliation. They're going to stay in their corner. They're going to be quiet. They're going to be like, oh yeah. Look, at the end of the day, they don't care about the football. It's all about the bottom line, right? So you have to think that or you would hope that a new ownership would tell Ten Hag, like, hey man, no, we stand behind you. We stand behind the players. If they're not getting treated right, we're going to say something to the league, like very respectfully, very professionally, but we're going to file the right grievances and complaints and ask for reviews.
Exactly.
And just the fact that they're not willing to do that for him, why wouldn't he just say, they're not looking out for me? Well, I should get out of here. Because I mean, I don't think that he's done playing by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
no, no. I don't think so either.
If he wanted to go towards another club and sign for a multiple year contract, he's still at a point in his career where he could do that. But
Oh yeah,
we have to take care of our players, man. From
hundred
our
percent.
from our youth players that need to be nurtured and guided to our veteran players that at least need to be protected from being set as the example. We have to do better.
Right. Let's quickly move on. Quickly, what's we got? Aston Villa on Sunday. Man United at home. What's your predicted score, mate?
2-1 United. I'm
2-1
being
United.
positive. But I'm saying, like, I'm being optimistic. But Villa will play open. They will try to go forward. So we have to be prepared. You know, maybe a Garnacho finds minutes by Sunday. But
He's trying to go. He's caught in a situation of club and country. He wants to go play for Argentina under 20 World Cup.
Yeah. When is he supposed to leave for that though? It's not for a little while, right?
Yeah, that's coming up to that
May.
is in about 4 weeks' time.
4 weeks. So
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean,
he might miss the FA Cup final. So people, I mean,
I totally get it though. And look, maybe he doesn't need to be the player that's playing in the FA Cup final for us. He hasn't been playing lately. He's been injured.
right.
He's just coming back. So, but it would bode well for him to have games before he goes off towards playing in the
Right.
World Cup. So
Are you in support of him going to the World Cup?
yeah, I think it's fine.
I
You
think
know,
I said so.
yeah,
I spoke to a lot of United fans. Oh no, he should not. He should. His loyalty should be United.
that's the thing. Like, look, man. Like, yeah, players or people say, oh, certain
Those
top.
tournaments made a lot of players. Those tournaments made
Yeah,
a lot of great players.
yeah,
Ronaldo, Messi, they all play for the country's under 20s in tournaments.
I think that for a young footballer, you know, being able to put on your country's shirt in any capacity, whether it's a senior team or an under 20 team, I think that, I mean, players dream of that kind of stuff, man.
Oh, that's what I keep telling people.
I don't think that you can take that away from anyone. And I
No,
say the same thing. Look, I say the same thing about confederation tournaments, right? Like the UEFA tournament, the CONCACAF tournament.
mm,
African players, they get a lot of crap for going and playing, the tournament
exactly. Till
in
till
country.
FIFA put a rule down like, listen, because what I noticed a lot of Premiership clubs used to do is like, oh, this player's injured, he won't be available. Then you see him playing 2 days later for his club. So what FIFA said is, if this player is not going to the, if you're saying he's injured, he will be injured.
Yeah,
He's not going to be playing. So
yeah.
they've had to start release, and they downplayed AFCON, like, whatever. No,
I
no.
get it. I get it. I get it from the Premier League, right? Or from the European leagues, because like it for them, it's simple. It's a financial decision.
Mm.
Like, yes, I watch the African leagues. Okay, I know they're brutal.
Tackles are right. No,
And
it's
players
just like the South American one. That's just on another level.
well, yeah, like I mean, players, they do risk injury, but at the same time, number one, they're going to play for their countries because they've earned it. It is an honor to play for your country. It is on FIFA to invest in African and South American football and Central American football and Asian football. You know, and this is something where, we pretend like, Western countries are responsible for building their own facilities and having the best facilities in the world. But I mean, we know where the investment, follow the money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
it's in certain places and it's not going to other places, and they're doing that for a reason.
mm.
Uh, FIFA does, as a world leading organization, they should be investing in those in those in those
Countries.
in those countries, in those leagues, because yeah, it should be safer for African players to be able to go home and play for their countries. Um, and look, countries all over the world have problems that are unavoidable.
Mm.
There is something that FIFA can do for these so-called developing nations,
True,
and
true,
things
true.
like, yeah, they ignore those countries, and then they expect the African players to put their club, over their country, the South American players to put their club over the country.
Exactly.
It's not fair.
Or
It's
the
a very
European players. It's okay for European players to.
Yeah, and look, for if Garnacho, has the opportunity to go play for his country, like I think he should be allowed to do that. Because we would expect every top England player to go play for England, for every Brazilian player to go play for Brazil, whatever it is. So I mean, it's unfair just to say, because certain players come from certain parts of the world, that they can't go play for their nation. It's messed up.
Exactly. Right, Louis, thank you so much for joining us today on our show. You've been an absolute star. Thank you so much. Well, you've just heard it from Louis, Houston, and um,
Denver.
Denver Red Army. Houston Denver Red Army star is joined us
Like,
today talking about, we summarized the whole United thing today. And I mean, it's wasn't a great game. It just leaves that bitter taste, like this could have easily been avoided.
we got
Yeah,
work to do.
Ten Hag got this one wrong today, honestly.
We
But
got work to do.
there is work to do. So, we'll see you after the game on Sunday. Hopefully, we'll have a post game with the UK and the USA fans on Sunday to talk about, analyze. Hopefully, it will be a positive game to discuss than a negative game to discuss. But, Louis, I'll see you soon. Take care, brother. God bless. See you soon.
Have a good
Glory,
night.
glory, Man
Man United.
United. Take care, bro.